Hello and welcome back to Bookmark Chronicles. Today I'm doing a review of Cinderella is Dead by Kaylin Barron. I will admit that I did move this up on my TBR because I didn't appreciate the email that she got about how she shouldn't be writing Black love and YA because it's too new and people aren't used to it and whatever the fuck else. But I am glad that I did because I really enjoyed this, and more than I was expecting to. I'm always a little skeptical of YA fantasies, even though Ray Bear is one of my favorite books. That is like one of the YA fantasies where I don't have an issue with the romance and all the little subplots that are going on. So I was a little nervous about this, but I actually really enjoyed it. If you're not familiar, in this we are following Sophia, who lives in the same place as Cinderella, but 200 years after her death. All of the men who have ruled since Cinderella's death are forcing these young girls to go to an annual ball where they're to be chosen as a wife. If you end up going to 3 balls and are not chosen, then you're a forfeit and basically have to leave your family and are just held in the palace. Nobody really knows what happens because those people enter the palace and then never come out. Our main character, Sophia, is getting ready to go to her first ball and she is not thrilled about it at all. She doesn't want to go. She thinks the whole concept of it is bullshit. Plus, she's in love with her childhood best friend, Erin. So at the ball, Sophia decides, fuck this, I'm out of here. She leaves and runs off into the woods and meets Constance. So then the two of them try to figure out how they can dismantle this whole patriarchal society. So like I said, I did enjoy this. There were some things that I didn't like, certain characters that I didn't love, but there were also really great plot twists. The character development was really good. I did feel like there was also a little bit of insta-love, which I didn't necessarily enjoy. But overall, I ended up rating this 4 out of 5 stars, and I will be pre-ordering her next book, This Poison Heart, which I think comes out at the end of this month. If you have not yet read Cinderella is Dead but would like to, this is your official spoiler warning. Alright, so let's start with the characters, starting with Sophia. I did really enjoy Sophia as a main character, and what's interesting about it, I think, is that she is still a child. She's only just turned 16, and her youth is shown a little bit in some of her decision making that isn't necessarily great, but at the same time, she really handled the situation that she was in very maturely. She not only removes herself from the situation that she doesn't want to be in, but after her parents, well, her father in particular, was basically like, yeah, sorry, we can't help you, you're on your own, she handled that very well, and I just thought it was very mature of her, and I like the way that she handled it. She was basically just like, okay, well, this is my life now and I better get used to it. I wanted to like Constance, but one, I felt like Sophia meeting her for the first time, like I felt like it was super insta-lovey. Like literally you're hiding in Cinderella's tomb. You just flee from the palace. The guards are after you and you're thinking about how pretty this girl is. On top of that, it was also like, oh my god, I'm in love with Erin, I want to be with Erin, we're gonna escape together, blah blah blah, Erin, oh look, a pretty girl. Like, what? Like, you were literally just crying over this bitch. Like, okay, whatever. But as far as Constance, even though she ended up being right about Amina, I didn't like the way that she literally took every opportunity that she could to provoke her. And so I had totally forgotten about the mention of the portrait, so I didn't even make that connection, but it just felt annoying to me because literally every time Amina spoke or said anything, Constance was rolling her eyes, folding her arms, huffing and puffing. But not only that, this woman invited you into her home and is literally the only reason that you were even close to coming up with the information that you need to do what you need to do. And yeah, she kind of betrayed them at the end, but I just felt like it was disrespectful when somebody was offering you hospitality. So that was really annoying. As far as Amina goes, did not realize that she was Manfred's mother. Again, I forgot about the portrait, so I didn't even think about it. And I don't necessarily know if she actually betrayed them in the end. By that point, she had already seen what her death was going to be like, so she knew that she was going to be killed by Constance for attacking Sophia. So I felt like she was just like, whatever. Because she literally did the one thing that would have caused that to happen in that moment, which also allowed them to be able to kill Manfred. So I have nothing to say about the king. He's obviously a misogynistic piece of shit. No surprise there. I kind of wish we had spent a little bit more time with Luke. I also think it would have been nice if he had actually been able to make his plan come into fruition with him claiming Sophia, but that would have been too good to be true, I guess. Erin really pissed me off. I understand that she thinks she needs to do this because she doesn't want to disgrace her family. I understand that she hates being in this situation, but when Sophia comes back to check on her and she completely flips shit, none of that was necessary. You can't be mad at someone who literally gave you an opportunity to leave. Sure, it would have been rough because you don't really have anywhere to go, but at least she tried. And then you're mad at her for not staying to be in the same miserable situation. That makes no fucking sense. What was she supposed to do? Stay so she can be miserable with you because misery wants company? Fuck that. So Aaron really annoyed the fuck out of me. Oh, and good for Sophia forgiving her father at the end, because I wouldn't have. Not at all. She's better than me. My biggest complaint, aside from like the insta love and whatever, I feel like it could have been maybe like 50 to 75 pages shorter. Towards the end, it really felt like it was being dragged out, and then the ending kind of happens like abruptly. Like, we know that Constance ends up being the new ruler with a council and whatever, but I feel like we could have gotten a little bit more of that. It like mentioned that Aaron's husband was going to be on trial, but then like we don't find out anything about Aaron anymore, and I guess like at that point she and Sophia have cut ties, so it doesn't really matter. But I just feel like I just didn't really love the ending. It kind of just felt a little all over the place, and pacing was weird. But like I said, I did enjoy it. 4 stars, and I'm excited to read her next book. So let me know if you've read Cinderella Is Dead or if it's on your TBR. Otherwise, that's all I have for you today, and I'll see you in the next video.